Welcome back to The Breakdown. Today we're going to be taking a look at 3 hard life lessons I learned that helped me become a better person. Not just in my career path and more. I'm not here to try to be like, oh, if you learn these lessons, you're going to be becoming a millionaire overnight. No, but I hope that maybe this will help make your life a little bit better, make you maybe a little bit more of a content person, a little happier, which I find will help you maybe be more successful in life. But really, I just hope that this helps somebody in some small way. I have no delusion that this is some big video. It's kind of a departure from our regular videos on this channel. But I wanted to take a moment and share something that has helped me a lot, and I hope helps somebody out there. Now, we're all different people. Our lives are different. Our circumstances are different. Our skills, our talents are different. Maybe not everything in this list will help you. You may have other things you've had to learn and struggle with. If so, leave me a comment. I'd love to know what hard life lessons you've learned that have helped you get forward in life. And leave me a comment if you disagree or agree with me. If something on this list helps you, let me know. First though, if you're new here, do me a big favor. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. It really does help us because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. Hopefully with this video or others, we can help you learn something new, maybe get a little something out of life that you didn't know before. Also, check out our new weekly podcast, The Breakdown. I'll put a link to it down below. It's on YouTube and it's rolling out to podcast platforms out there where we break down some of the biggest news and I talk about life in these videos. All right, but now let's get started. Number 1, life's not fair. Now let me be very cautious here because a lot of people probably already, I can hear your brains about to explode when I say life's not fair. There are things in life that are not fair that really should be addressed. There are times in life that we put artificial barriers against people that make it unfair. Yeah, we definitely need to address some of those things. There's also things out there that are just, hey, guess what? Somebody may be better at something than you, or maybe they got a job that you really wanted and you can't explain why you didn't get it. I'm a dyslexic person. I'm very, very dyslexic. I grew up in a time and age, at least in my school system, where dyslexia wasn't really well understood. It was just kind of coming into its own in the 90s when I was going through high school. And what that resulted in was me really struggling through high school, through college. A lot of people talk about high school and college being a great, fun thing. It was not for me. One of the reasons was if I would take any help from the resource room, the best I could do on a test in high school was a B-. So the school's idea back then was, well, I got an unfair advantage because I took tutoring or other help with it. Sometimes I would get somebody to read me a test because I'm a very audible learner. To this day, I listen to things better and learn it more than read it. And so they said that was unfair advantage. So if I got 100% on a test, a B- was the best I could do. Where somebody else gets 100%, they get an A. It actually got to the point where I realized, hey, it may not be best to take help in some subjects because a test that would be a C, typically, okay, I got a C, that's not great, but you know what? I'm passing, right? Well, that suddenly becomes a D or an F, depending on how the teacher grades it through the B- test. So suddenly here, not only am I dyslexic, it's in my best interest not to take help to try to get ahead because of this B- test, which actually I think is illegal now. You can't actually do that. You can't punish kids for taking help from tutoring or resource rooms and the like. But back then, that was what happened when I went to high school. I remember being very upset about that. And to the point that it kind of spiraled me into a bit of depression where all I could think about was, how come I'm dyslexic and somebody else is not? And I had to work very hard to kind of become accepting of the fact that life's not fair. And later on, I've learned that I actually have some skills. I have a very good memory, especially a visual memory. Driving somewhere, I can go back because I can, turn right at the water tower, turn left at the McDonald's, that kind of stuff. Very good visual memory. Memory overall is very good. I have other skills, be able to see things differently. I find dyslexic people do have very smart minds that just work differently. And that has given me benefits in some areas that maybe people who are not dyslexic don't have. And that's what I hope here. Now, yeah, there are injustices in our culture. I think the B- test was something that should have never been, but that we need to improve. But also, I would encourage you sometimes to not dwell on it. Why does that person get this job? Why is he dating her? I should be dating her. I'm a better guy, right? Life is not always fair. It doesn't always make sense. And when I kind of accepted that, when I learned not to dwell on that, when I learned not to be so angry about why am I dyslexic and other people are not, I became a much more happy person. I became a lot harder working person out there because I wasn't so focused on why is this unfair. I'm just going, hey, work every day to kind of overcome it, to become better. That was a big part of my life and a big changing moment for me. I don't know, do you struggle with that? Do you have something where you look around and say, hey, this isn't fair. Why is he or she have that skill level? Why are they so much taller than I am? Or why is somebody shorter than me and has an easier time getting in and out of a car and more? Oh, let me know. All right, number 2, what really helped me is failure is part of life. And it's not about failing, it's about how you respond to failure. Winston Churchill said, success is the ability to go from one failure to another with no loss of enthusiasm. What I find in business, I find in life, and I find just in everything, is how you respond to failure will be a big part of how successful, how happy you are in life. I've had businesses I've launched who failed. I've actually, before I launched my last big one, I had a business that grew, but it never became successful. It was always very frustrating. It was always on the cusp of like, okay, I'm almost able to be my full-time job. It just never got there. And every time we would kind of get moving that way, we would have a setback and setback. Had another business that just flat out failed. And then I've had businesses that have been successful. And if I had given up on that after that first business, where every time we almost got there, something changed, market changed, structures changed, costs changed, and it just never became profitable to the point where I could support myself and a family. I wouldn't ever gotten to where I am today. I just would have given up. And that's what I think for a lot of people is, how are you going to respond in life when you hit adversity? How are you going to respond to life when there's a major roadblock? Now, this doesn't mean that you never give up. I'm not trying to say you never give up. The question is, though, when it's time to either give up, when it's time to change plans, as I like to say, how do you respond to it? Are you going to respond by being angry, upset, giving up? Or are you going to be able to say, well, that didn't work. Now it's time to go, shift objectives, change, morph, warp, whatever you want to call it, into something different and go a different direction. Your ability to respond to failure without losing enthusiasm, as Winston Churchill would say, is a big part of being successful in life. It's a big part of how I became successful. Even once my old site became successful, there were many times where, you got to be kidding me, all the rules changed. I got to kind of constitute what I do here. I got to alter, shift, change, move forward, move backwards, whatever it may be. That's business. That's life. Hey, everything's going great. Feeling great. Very excited to move back by family. Everything feels great. Why is my hip hurting all the time? Wait, you know me, I'm going to take a full year, have physical therapy for a long time, do hip surgery, deal with this, deal with that, and now suddenly I'm kind of getting back to normal, and then I hurt my foot. That's life. I did not plan to be where I am today. This was not my things. It's just kind of where I ended up. And it's what I'm dealing with. So if I could really encourage you to not get down when failure impacts you. I feel very few people today are willing to look at failure not as failure, but as an opportunity to either change, do something different, or reevaluate where you're going without giving up. That's a big life lesson I encourage everybody to really learn. And I can't really communicate how to do that well in a few minutes video here, but there are a lot of books about it. Really encourage you to read about them. I remember a pastor at a very large church here in Michigan talked for a long time about repeatedly, things would be going well, and then there'd be setback. We outgrew our building. Well, that doesn't sound like a big problem, but suddenly now you have a massive cost that you can't afford. Do we turn away people? Do we go into debt to be able to build a building or welcome all these people who want to come and more? There's a lot out there that will sound like, hey, these are great things, but bring failure along with them too. So keep that in mind. How you respond to that will determine a lot about how your life is. So I hope that helps somebody. And number 3, hard work really is the only way to get ahead. Now this was one I've seen a lot, and I've fallen into this too, right? yeah, I could really work hard, do all the hours, but there's got to be a way to automate this. There's got to be a way, there's got to be a shortcut. There's got to be this, there's got to be that to make life easier. Now, I'm the first person to say, hey, yeah, if there's a legit way to do something better and easier, I'm going to do it. And the problem I think a lot of people fall into is they put almost as much work into trying not to do their work as they do their work. And suddenly they actually end up doing a lot more, or they do poorer quality. If you really want to get ahead in life, kind of accept that life is a bit of hard work. It often involves waking up early or maybe staying up late. There's always a joke, oh, you got to wake up early to be successful. Well, some businesses require staying up late to be successful, which can be equally hard, to be honest with you. The ability to work hard. I always said in my life that I am not the best writer. I'm not the best at YouTube videos. I am not the best speaker. I am not the best looking, best basketball player, best whatever. But I'm willing to work harder than that person who has a much better natural ability to speak. And I will produce content better. And I will just keep plucking away at it. And it's the old saying, right? It doesn't take much to be at work on time. It doesn't take much to do the work right the first time and more. It actually takes a lot of work to go around and say, there's got to be a better way to do this so I won't have to do the work, basically. So keep that in mind always, that when there is so much happening and you're tempted to always be like, there's got to be an easier way to do this. If there is, great. But don't let it have you take shortcuts that affect your quality of work, affect your work ethic, and more. Sometimes the best things in life do require you to work a little bit harder and more. And when I kind of realized that, it helped me. That helped me in my personal life. Relationships are hard work, right? It helped me in my parenting. Parenting is hard work at the end, right? There are times where my daughter loves going to gymnastics twice a week. I don't always like taking my daughter to gymnastics twice a week. That's a lot of time. It's an hour and a half gymnastics class. But you know what? It's really good for her. There's times for work. I didn't want to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning because the embargo ended at 2 o'clock in the morning, but it's part of my job. I don't want to just trust that an automated system will do it because I run the risk of the company reaching out and canceling the embargo, changing the time, which happens a lot. Don't want to risk of something not properly launching, not properly tweeting it out, and more. I got to wake up because it's my job. It's hard work. And that really helped me become successful in life. So always remember, life's not fair. Not to mean that there aren't things in the world that we should address and change that are unfair, but there are, times where you got a better natural ability than I do in something. And I can either be jealous of that and really just sit here and why does XYZ be a better speaker, better writer, better YouTuber, better looking, taller, whatever, drive a better car than I do. And becoming content in that life isn't fair, and that if I'm constantly trying to compare myself to other people, or why do I have dyslexia when other people don't, I'm going to be unhappy. Also, failure is part of life. You're going to run in roadblocks, and how you respond to that is more important than actually failing. Success is, as Winston Churchill says, is moving from one failure to the next without losing enthusiasm for what you're trying to do, and bouncing around until you find what works. Keep that in mind. And lastly, hard work is really the only way to get ahead in life. I don't care what they say. Yeah, there are things that make life easier. There are ways to do better. They're better now than there were back then. But this idea that we're just going to have an easy time and everything's going to be fun without any hard work, I think gets a lot of people in trouble. They chase that dream. They never achieve it. And honestly, I think most people who say they do really haven't. It means you're not going to be as successful or not as happy. If you're going to be upset about the fact that you may have to work late sometimes, or you may have to get up early or stay up late, or whatever it may be for you to be successful in life, you're probably going to struggle more in life than if you just accept hard work. Now, okay, again, you may be totally different. I am a person that struggles with dyslexia that's found a particular niche in life that these skills have helped me excel. What helps you excel could be dramatically different. I'd love to know. Leave me a comment, let me know. But there are my 3 hard life lessons that help me become a better person, get ahead in life, and so much more. Now, we'll be back with more regular videos here soon, but I thought I would try something different. Hopefully this helps somebody. Hopefully I didn't scare away too many people with a video like this. Leave me a comment and let me know. All right, everybody, I hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. We'll be back here real soon with another video.